approaching in a hurry. As you can see that F-5E.
We have 2 good engine starts. You're clear to disconnect the headset. We'll see you on the left with the pin. Thanks a lot. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another video. Now this is going to be a very exciting one. This is going to be my first ever demo flown in VR. Now obviously the image you see behind me right now is not VR, but this is just the intro, so just bear with me. Now I would like to ask all of you that have been subscribed before and have watched some of my previous demos in 2D using the Track IR, please, after watching this, comment down below and tell me if you would like me to continue doing stuff in VR or if you would like to see it back in 2D in Track IR. I mean, the reason I say that is because although it's really cool that I'm, obviously VR is amazing for flying, but when you record it, you just don't have that image quality that you do with Track IR. I mean, it's kind of like in the shape of an oval sort of lens. I could either stretch it out over the screen to try and fill it out, but then it becomes very pixelated, and all the disturbances in terms of the in terms of the headset, when it moves up and down and it jitters a little bit, that just gets amplified. So it's just not very good. So that's why VR is obviously best experienced, first person in a VR headset. For recording, some aspects was pretty cool. Obviously, that I'm flying in VR, so that's kind of interesting. But obviously, if you guys are not happy with the image quality and you think that Track IR 2D is still better, it's more it doesn't shake as much, etc., etc., just let me know and I'll probably go back to 2D if you guys think that's better. Downside of recording VR, specifically for me flying, is that you will not see the overlay of me, which you see right now from the camera. You will not see that overlaid on the VR footage. OBS just cannot record smoothly, and in fact I can't even fly smoothly. I think it's just overload for the GPU, or if there is a way of doing it, somebody needs to let me know, because I've tried a few different settings in OBS. I can't do it. I can only record VR with Nvidia Shadowplay, and that way I cannot overlay the image of me, which is a shame because it'd be cool for you guys to see where I'm moving my head and how I'm looking behind, etc. Anyway, I digress. Today we're doing the F5 demo. It's going to be at Nellis. I'm going to try and make it as realistic as I can. Once again, I'll be talking you through all the maneuvers. I've basically designed this one on my own because I've used a couple of the maneuvers from real F5 demos, most predominantly the Norwegian F5 Takeoff, which you'll see is pretty badass, and also the Strafing Run at Oshkosh. But unfortunately there's no proper F5 demo, like a full video of it, where the aircraft gets pushed to the limit, so I just had to create my own one, so you're going to have to deal with that. Anyway, without further ado, please sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the cockpit of the F5. Everything is set for takeoff. Trim is set. Some of you might be wondering, why don't I just wind down the altimeter to 0? Well, that's because for whatever reason, maybe it's a bug on the Nevada map, but it only goes down to 100 feet. So we might as well just keep it at the airfield elevation of 1800 feet. We'll add an extra 300 for our base, the base of our maneuvers. That's going to be 2100 feet, and we'll go for 100 feet above the deck for the high-speed pass, so that'll be 1900 feet. I've also got some of the headings in my head, so like 030 obviously is where we're heading at the moment. We're running 03 right here at Nellis Air Force Base. 21, obviously 210 reciprocal heading, and then some 55-degree offsets, and a perpendicular heading, which is that way, heading 120 is quite useful for us as well for this demo. But other than that, we are really good to go. So let's throttle up on the brakes, let everything spool up. Everything is in the green, looking good. Alright, release brakes ready now. Full burner, keep it centered. pulling back. Here comes 200 knots. Rolling inverted like the Norwegian F-5. Keep it going. Gear still down. Alright, 3/4 roll, gear's coming up. Alright, just pitching up a touch so we can do a 3/4 roll the other way. Here it comes. Alright. So, trimming down as we're coming around the corner, because we're going to be setting ourselves up for the first pass, which is going to be a 4-point roll, show center. So we're looking for 2,100 feet minimum and 420-ish knots at least. So we're going to be using runway 03 right here for the reference. Here comes 2,300 feet, 420 knots, off the throttles a little bit. Here comes 2,200 feet, let's do the 4-point roll. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, looking good. Back into burner. Pull up, making sure to not overdo the F5, which is very easy. Pulling up to 60 degrees. There it is. Rolling inverted. Looking at the attitude indicator. It's looking good. 7,000 feet is good. That's going to keep us safe. So we're coming all the way back round. Make sure to not over G. Once again, very easy to do. It's not a fly-by-wire airplane, so we're looking at the G limiter there on the, or G meter on the right-hand side. Alright, coming out of burner, trimming down a touch. This is going to be 3 consecutive aileron rolls. Alright, here comes 2,200 feet, 2,100 feet, pulling up a bit. 1, 2, 3. Alright, and pulling back, here comes 6G. Here comes 7G, right on the limiter. Into burner for a sec. Looking for a reference heading 120 that we've passed, which is fine. We're basically going to do a sort of half Cuban down the bottom here. Just throttle down a touch. Once again, making sure to not overdo the airplane. It's the most tricky part of flying the F5. And we'll come in for a loaded barrel roll here into show center. There we go, pulling back. Once again, paying close attention to the G limiter because we don't have our body to tell us how many G's we're pulling. And finish this off with an aileron roll. Alright, now we're doing 55-degree offset, so once again pulling. There's the canal, that's a 55-degree offset, I know that. So pulling up to 35 degrees now, check. 3/4 roll, check. Back into burner for a sec. Alright, looking for the runway. Where is it? Coming back round. This is going to be the high-speed pass. There it is. Alright, diving down. Looking for 1,900 feet. Full burner. Trimming down a touch. There's 1,900. Check. Out of burner. That's Mach 0.95. Max dry. Pulling up. Make sure to note over G. 6G. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. Coming over the top, looking for the runway. There it is. Center ourselves on runway 03 right. Coming over the top. Roll over the top. Come in for a vertical downline. Here we are. Roll. Nice and careful to not over G once again. Okay, looking for 2,100 minimum. 3/4 roll. Check. And that's going to bring us up to a reference heading of 120, minimum 6,000 feet to do a half Cuban over the top there. So we just passed 120, it's looking good. Just past 6,000 feet, also looking good. Okay, pulling back hard now. We're not worried about the G limiter at this speed. Air brake's coming out. This is going to be the high alpha pass. Alright, we're going to try and bleed all the speed off if we can in this turn. Alright, 2,100 feet minimum, but we don't really want to get down there if we can avoid it, so looking at the VSI now, slowing down, looking at the VSI at 0, get rid of the air brakes. Alright, trying to get down to 120 knots. There's 140. Bit of descent rate. Pitch up slightly. Slowing down a little more. There's 130. We're over 2,100 feet. It's looking good. There's 120. VSI is at 0. Looking good. Throttle down a touch. 125. VSI is at 0. Looking good. Looking good. Alright, throttle up. Unload. Keeping the VSI at 0. We're not descending. Trimming down, trimming down, trimming down, trimming down, and let's do a hard bank to the right. So again, not worried about the G limiter at this speed, so that's good. Alright, pulling up. And now we're setting ourselves up for the pièce de résistance of the air show, because we're doing it in America. And in America, they know how to do their air shows pretty well. So, this is going to be the strafing pass. And if I was the commentator at the air show, now I would say, and now, ladies and gentlemen, on the right. Or is it on the left? And now, ladies and gentlemen, on the left, your United States Air Force, or rather, United States Navy, F-5. Put your hands together for the sound of freedom. Guns, 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 guns. Boom. Coming off the left. Alright, explosions worked. Which is behind us. Alright. Coming in for the last pass. Haven't overg'd the airplane, everything's good. And this is going to be the very last pass in front of show center. Let's go inverted. And roll and pull. Increase the pull. Now let's come in for a sort of loaded roll. Hopefully they've stopped the smoke now. Very good. Air's coming down. And now, we're coming into land on runway 03 right. A lot of you guys that fly this airplane in 2D, you'll probably know how much of a pain it is to try and land this thing, because it just never seems to be that comfortable with its speed and AOA and looking over the nose, and it just feels quite tricky. Well, I can tell you, in VR, much easier. Much easier, right? A good bit of rudder here. Good bit of rudder. Coming around the corner, looking at the speeds, looking good. AOA is looking good. Throttle down a touch. Looking for a reference speed there, about 160-ish. But we're looking at the AOA indicator. Greasing onto the runway if we can. There it is. Air brakes coming out. Keep the aerodynamic braking going to about 120 knots. And there we are. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the F5 demo at Nellis. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please make sure to comment down below if you've seen my other demos in 2D. I would really like to have some input from all of you and tell me if you would like me to stick to 3D, or if you would like me to do, for the purposes of YouTube videos, track IR, and just do everything in 2D. The reason I say that is because I know in 3D I just can't get the quality. Well, you just can't record VR and get the same sort of quality. I can't stretch it over a widescreen, and every time I talk also you'll notice that the camera sort of shakes or wobbles. Now it's not a big issue for me because I could just concentrate when, you know, my eyes can stay centered wherever I'm looking at, but the problem for you guys is that the image when it's recorded will look a little bit shaky. And you know, I don't know, like, it's cool that it's VR, and you know that I'm looking through the VR headset, and I think that's what kind of makes it interesting. But obviously, you know, it doesn't look as crisp. It's a bit shaky. It looks like I'm sitting off to the left, which I'm not. I'm in the center, of course. Like I explained, you're just seeing the image through one of the lenses. So I would like to know what you guys think. A couple of Drake and MiG-21s down there, coming and taxiing into our spot. And the aggressors section. But yeah, like, I mean, flying in VR is obviously amazing because you have the depth perception, and sitting inside the cockpit's freaking incredible. And my own thoughts on VR versus 2D, I can tell you that even with a 3090 Nvidia graphics card, although I love VR, I definitely don't think that it is the end-all be-all. It will be one day, and I think at one point I will say, like some people say, that there's no going back to 2D, but at the moment I actually think there is going back to 2D, and the reason, I'll tell you why. Sitting inside here, the cockpit, right, is incredible. Like, everything here, you know, I'm 3D, this is actually my hands and feet moving. I mean, this is amazing. But when you look outside, everything is looking very kind of bland, very kind of, I don't know, not enough contrast, not enough brightness, not enough vibrance. Everything is just, I don't know, a little dull and almost, you know, okay, it's also not as sharp, and you know, it's just not gonna have that same kind of feeling that you would have on a monitor, and it's a shame, because I think that kind of lets VR down a little bit. And part of it is because, you know, I think ED hasn't designed this game for VR in the first place, so that's partly why. But also partly, I think, you know, monitors are just better still. They're just better at, you know, making stuff, you know, more vibrant. So anyway, I still love VR. I think it's freaking amazing, and I love my Reverb G2 and my 3090. So I would like to do some more videos. So if you're interested in more VR content, then please let me know. Unfortunately, like I say, you can't see me overlaid on top of the VR here, because I just can't record an OBS to make it smooth. So yeah, it's up to you guys. You just let me know, and we'll go from there. So hope you've enjoyed it. Comment down below, and hopefully we'll catch you in the next one. Adios.